What's up, everybody? 2 days in a row. What the heck, right? Well, I figured why not. One thing, so today it's titled Responsibility. And it all starts there. So, what in the world do I mean by that? Well, today's post is going to be real. I've been told I probably shouldn't do it. Well, those who know me know I don't listen real well, and when somebody tells me don't, I usually do. Be a little raw. I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable to some of my past. Those of you who read the book know a little bit about it. And it started because of some stuff that's in the news. And this is a hot button topic, and I guarantee you I'm going to lose some people on this, and I'm going to probably gain some people on this one. But that's okay. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to try and speak some truth, and that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try and keep this to logic and truth, if I can. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of emotion in it, but as much fact as I can without letting the emotion cloud as much as possible. I think one of the biggest things when I see problems with people, when I see problems with society, for me, the biggest problem, I think, is responsibility and a lack of people taking responsibility for their own actions. I mean, you look at people, people always have an excuse. They have an excuse of, like say in our business, in network marketing, they have an excuse of why they haven't made it to the top. It's never their fault. It's always, well, I live in too small of a town. Well, Brenda and I live in a town where they don't even put the population on the sign. So that's an excuse. People say, I can't get fit because I don't have access to a gym. I can't afford a gym. I tell you what, my trainer can make me puke with body weight stuff. No weights at all, and I want to throw up. Excuse. People, we've gotten soft. Men have gotten soft. Women have gotten soft. Kids are soft as hell right now. This piece of everything is somebody else's fault, and nothing is my fault. It's never my fault. Why would it be my fault? This type of mentality, in my mind, is what's ruining us as a country, ruining us as a people, ruining us as a moral group of individuals. So now you may know where I'm going with this one. The law that passed in New York, and here's the thing. I'm going here on this one, because here's what I do believe. If somebody believes in something, they should stand up. If somebody believes to live differently than me, I have no problem with them standing up for what they believe. In fact, if they can't stand up for what they believe, I don't believe they truly believe in it. So I respect someone who can stand up for their beliefs, even if it's different than mine. May not agree with them. Don't have to agree, but I can still be civil and I can still be an adult, right? I can have a civil discourse. What they passed in New York, I cannot agree with, and I will not. Here's the thing. The people, I was just talking with a good friend, Tom Nickel, and he talked about many times a minority will speak up louder than the majority because the majority doesn't want to ruffle feathers. And so many times the minority's voice becomes the loudest. And I'm not talking minority as in race, I'm talking minority as in number of people. And that piece, everybody who has a viewpoint different than, say, mine, which is a conservative, seems like they can speak up and they can say their piece. And they should be able to. But as soon as somebody with a conservative voice speaks up, they're either racist, a xenophobe, a homophobe, whatever it is, they shouldn't be able to speak their piece. Well, screw that. I'm sick of it. If those of us who believe in, who think this is wrong, don't speak up enough, then this will roll across the country because we don't want to use our voice. We don't want to look like the bad guy. We don't want to look like the racist. We don't want to look like the xenophobe. We don't want to look like a homophobe. We don't want to stop worrying about what the hell other people are thinking about you. Start worrying about what you believe in and what you're standing up for. And here's what I'm going to talk about with this. This law, aside from non-consensual, rape, incest, non-consensual sex between two adults, here's what I'm going to say. When you have consensual sex with another adult, there is a potential for something to happen. And unless you're mentally incapable of understanding, unless you're too young to understand, in which case it's really not consensual sex. But when you have consensual sex between two people, there's a possibility of a pregnancy. Now here, wait a second. Before anybody gets butthurt and they start saying, well, you don't know, you've never been through, you have no idea. You know what? Here's the thing. I'll get to that point, and I'm going to tell you why. But when you have consensual sex, there's a potential for a pregnancy. Guess what? That's a responsibility. You have made a conscious decision. I really have a hard time when they say women need to be able to make a choice. Men can make a choice. True. And I agree, women should be able to make a choice. I don't believe that they shouldn't have a choice. But when you have made a choice, you have made a choice to let somebody get their rocks off in you. And when that happens, man or woman, the responsibility is now comes out from that action. If you get pregnant, is it inconvenient? Yes, it's inconvenient. God knows it's inconvenient. Can it be with the wrong person? Yes, it can be with the wrong person. But there's so many things about this that make it a pain in the butt, right? I get it. Trust me, I get it. At 16, I was one that had a new responsibility all of a sudden. Now, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for the birth mom. But at 16, I had a new responsibility. And guess what? We could have made that choice. The choice to abort could have been made because it was inconvenient. We were both kids. We weren't ready to be parents. God knows I wasn't ready to be a dad. I'd have screwed that poor kid up 3 ways from Sunday in less than 2 years. Guaranteed. But you know what? I met this young man for the first time this year. He's 28, going to be 29. Never been I gotta cuss so I get out of this. Never been so damn grateful that that decision was made in my life. That to abort did not happen. So grateful for the family that adopted him, that loved him, and that turned him into a young man that is making a difference in people's lives, that is a good contributing member to society, that cares for people deeply. And I know I'm not going to speak for his birth mom, but I guarantee you this, I know how happy she was to get to meet him too. People are turning pregnancy into a thing, an item, a commercial item. It's a freaking human life, people. Take the responsibility. Like I said, when you have the potential, when you make the decision to do that, when you make the decision as an adult to get your freak on, it may happen. Somebody mentioned something about protection. There's all kinds of protection. Guess what? Protection fails. It happens. The other thing where it's non-consensual, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother shade, multiple shades of gray. That's for another time. But this new thing where they're treating human life over there like it's not worth anything, where they're treating it as simply an inconvenience. Not saying it's easy. It wasn't easy. Tell you what, to hear the judge say that your rights as parents of this person are terminated. And here's the thing: I didn't have to go through the physical part of the pregnancy, like the birth mom did. I didn't have to do that. I'm not even going to claim to know what that's like. But she did it. I'm proud of her for doing it. Because life meant something. And so people who say, I don't know what it's like, I don't know, I'm a man, I don't understand. I don't fully have the experience of the physical part of the pregnancy. You're correct, I don't. But I have the experience of meeting a young man, an adult, who was raised by a loving family who couldn't have children, thought they couldn't have children, who loved him and cared for him and turned him into an incredible human being. And I could never be prouder of what he has become. Never be more grateful for those people for what they did. So to say, as a man, I don't know, it's crock. Like I said, it's not. It's simple. The idea is simple, but it's not easy. There's tough times. There's struggles. There's all kinds of things when it comes to this. I get it. There's even in these cases, it can affect your life. It affected our lives. But the experience that I had, the experience of having a son, giving a son up for adoption, and then now meeting this son again, though I wouldn't trade those experiences. They've shaped me into who I am. They've given me perspective that I wouldn't have otherwise. So think about the responsibilities. Think about, as men, your responsibility before you decide to get your freak on. Young men, I'm talking to you right now. If you're not married, whatever. Before you decide to do that, there's potential responsibility. And it's a big one. And I think that more of this nation, more of us, need to be willing to accept the responsibilities for our actions. And if we can do that, to say, this is my shit, I own it, the better off we're going to be as a society. Own your shit, people. Just own it. That's all I got. Y'all take care.